Elsewhere. We're talking to Cori Brackett today, and the subject is aspartame. The subject is, why in the world would anybody poison themselves with a chemical? And that is exactly what it is. It is no nutritional item. It is a chemical. She is the producer of a documentary called Sweet Misery. It is one that you need to have to put in your library, to share with other people. And forget this idea of losing weight by using aspartame. Forget about it. And I have to tell you all, I got one of those Tony little gazelle things, and I've been working out on it. And last night, I have to tell you, I was working and working, and I was working and working. And, man, I was feeling like, boy, we're making some headway here. We are doing great. I look just like Tony Little on the TV ad, you know, where they're just flying through the air. I looked down on the calorie meter to find out how many calories I'd burned. 34. Half of an apricot I burned in all that time. And I thought to myself, oh, man. Oh, well, it's worth it. It is worth it, but we got to do what we got to do. Anyway, let's go to our callers right now. We got George in Canada. George, you're on the air with Cori Brackett. Go ahead, please.
Oh, good morning. You were talking about phosphoric acid.
Yes.
You'll notice that the drinks, especially the colas, are very, very good at removing rust. They're probably one of the best rust removers you can ever find.
Oh, that's right.
That's because of the phosphoric acid. I don't think there's anything made that you can buy in a hardware store that'll take rust off as good as some flat cola, especially the kind that's pushed all over the world by two big companies that are renowned in America, Coke and Pepsi.
How interesting. Now, why flat Coca-Cola or why flat soda?
Well, you just let it sit around, it's just the acid in there sticks around, but it's a little easier to handle, I guess, than if it's really carbonated, so you don't get it exploding on you. But what it does to the inside of your joints is just beyond description. It melts all the fine tissue between your bone joints, like between your knees and your elbows. So when you get older and you start having severe pains and discomfort, you just suffer horribly. And, of course, because you love your Coke and Pepsi or whatever, you just keep hauling it back, and you make it worse and worse and worse, and then you become almost crippled. Like, the pain can be excruciating. You might think you have arthritis, but you don't.
So could that be why, could that be why the commercials, I don't know about in your where you are, but in this country, the commercials are, talk to your doctor about a knee replacement.
Oh, exactly.
Wow.
I didn't know that myself. It was just luck. I worked with the chemist one day, and I was talking about my mother's aches and pains, and he'd flat out, she drink Coke? I go, oh, yeah, like a passion. He goes, well, there's your problem, son. He says, the phosphoric acid. So we tested some of the drinks on, rust removing and using it for industrial purposes, and he was quite correct. It's just wicked. But, when it's what you think about what it does to your soft tissue in your body, you're just destroying yourself. You're melting yourself away from the inside, like you wouldn't drink rust remover from a hardware store and pile it down.
You're right.
It's usually the darker colored drinks that have the acid in it. Usually the light stuff doesn't. And like orange or, the 7-Ups or anything like that, ginger ale. The odd root beer might have it, but you'd be surprised. And what it does to your teeth as well, because that acid eats away the enamel on your teeth. That was my suffering from when I was a child, because I drank that stuff like there was no tomorrow. And, the dentist and I were on a first-name basis because I melted away all the enamel on my teeth. So once I stopped using that stuff, because I seldom ever will drink any carbonated drink now of that sort, and I found that, hey, no cavities, no cavities, no cavities. And it's so nice to hear that, because I hate the dentist.
No kidding. And also, you will find, and Dr. Judd, by the way, we have his book here at the Power Hour, Dr. Judd, who talks about how to really take care of your teeth, and it has nothing to do with what the dentist tells you. He says to brush your teeth with something like Miracle 2 soap. It is incredible. I have not had a cavity since I brushed my teeth with Miracle 2. One drop of it on the toothbrush, and I have not had a cavity since. It's amazing. What do you think about this, Cori? What George had to say here?
It's fascinating. I know that a lot of products that are touted by the mainstream media are touted to be safe, but yet they can have a lot of deleterious effects that we're just not looking at in the right direction. I'm very curious, Joyce, about what you were saying about Gulf War syndrome and so forth.
Oh,
Was that depleted uranium that you were talking about, or?
Well, they say that. Let me just let George go. Thank you very much, George, for the phone call. See, we got the smartest listeners out there. All I have to do is ask for somebody, and they call in, and we get the best information.
That was great. Thank you, George.
Yes, thank you. Let me just add that, and I'm not trying to dispute what Dr. Martini and Dr. Blaylock say, but they say that a lot of the Gulf War illness is related to the fact that these diet sodas laid out in the sun, the Gulf War veterans drank them and became ill. Mm-hmm. Now, that may very well be true, but I am a spokesperson for the American Gulf War Veterans Association, and I have not talked to, we talked to one the other day that did drink diet sodas, but very few people ever saw a diet soda over there or drank them, and they're sick today. So I don't think we can causally connect the aspartame to Gulf War illness. And I really would like for them not to do that until they do a study, because it takes people off of the real issues like biologicals, chemicals, vaccinations, and depleted uranium. So, I mean, we just kind of agree to disagree on this subject. But I don't think that all Gulf War illness is due to diet sodas. I got sick. I was diagnosed with MS, and I didn't drink diet sodas. So I just want everybody to know that I'm just a little bit cautious of that connection. Let's go on to Jerry in Pennsylvania. Jerry, you're on the air with Cori Brackett. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was just going to add on that phosphoric acid. Automobile mechanics, if you have a corroded battery terminal, they'll open up a bottle of Coke and pour it on it. That's that phosphoric acid. It'll clean the corrosion off.
Oh my
goodness.
And if you put if you get a Coke or Pepsi and you drop a nail into it, in, I guess about a week or so, the nail will be dissolved.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it also phosphoric acid also leaches minerals out of your body big time.
Oh man, the perfect drink.
Yeah, and on that aspartame, remember Glenn Campbell, the singer?
Uh-huh.
Okay, everybody knows he had these blackouts and he had a drunken arrest.
Right.
He was drunk with blackouts.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the TV news shows. They did a thing on it. Visited his home and whatnot, and there he's sitting there with a Diet Coke. And he mentioned the day that this happened, that he was at the golf course and he had rum and Coke, and it was a Diet Coke or a Diet Pepsi.
I remember him saying that.
So he's cutting. He's instead of having a regular Coke or that, rum and Coke, he's doing it with the diet stuff. So that could be why he's having these blackouts.
Good point. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jerry. Hey, there is an exercise for all you homeschoolers out there to do with your children or your public school kids. Let them put a nail in a soda, any kind of dark-colored soda, and see what happens in a week. If it dissolves a nail, you can imagine what it's doing to the stuff that really makes your joints work. I mean, this is awesome information. I really appreciate this. Cori, anything you want to add?
Just that I agree with both you and your callers that was quite something. I feel like going to a store and getting a soda to check that out myself.
Absolutely. Let's go to Jason in Illinois. Jason, you're on the air with Cori Brackett. Go ahead, please.
Hello. Thanks a lot for taking the call.
Sure.
I just looked at a box of Crest, and it says it has sodium saccharin in it.
Oh, okay. So it's got saccharin.
Yeah.
Now, Cori, do you deal with the issue of saccharin at all?
Just in my research journeys, I've heard some things about saccharin in that it was shown to cause bladder cancer in rats, many years ago. But that was also very, very large quantities that would not be able to possibly be consumed. Whereas a lot of times, like in the situation with aspartame, if a certain level is seen to be bad, they just up or lower rather, the daily recommended dose so that it's not an issue any further.
Okay. All right. And I think if we were to find out we don't even want to go into all the other ingredients. We're concerned about aspartame here, but still the idea that it can dissolve a nail is just, whoa, the visual on that one is very good.
I also had one more thing I wanted to testify about the soda pop. I was a heavy pop drinker, probably about at least 6 cans a day in the past. Yeah, and I really had a lot of problems, especially the teeth. I also I used to be a heavy smoker, and I've quit that, too, for 3 years now. And thank you.
Yeah.
And I have to say that when I gave up drinking pop, the benefits to my health were greater than from when I quit smoking.
Mm-hmm. I can certainly believe that. I used to go to my mother's house, who recycled. They had a recycling program in Massachusetts where she was. And I would go there for 3 days and try to cut back on my diet soda consumption. And even so, her garage would be nearly filled with cans by the time I left, that I was constantly making her run to the store with me to get another 12-pack, even though I was trying consciously to cut down. And when I stopped, even though I went through some things after I stopped, when now I feel more clear-headed and better able to concentrate and healthier than I did all throughout my 20s when I was consuming diet soda.
Amen to that.
Yes, thank you very much for that information. I appreciate it. Let me just add that I put in glaucoma and aspartame and got 64 articles, so you might, or 64 links, so you might, if you're interested, guys, whoever is interested in glaucoma and aspartame, it appears that it just might be a problem. I'm going to go get some more of my classic reishi coffee. Yeah, my reishi mushroom coffee. I love it. I know you guys are drinking yours out there also, and we're going to be right back with our guest, Cori Brackett. Get this documentary, 877-817-9829, and get your Stevia and Dave's new CD. Stay tuned. We'll be right back in 4 minutes with Cori Brackett.
Are things freer in America today than they were a couple years ago?
Broadcast stations.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. If you ever drink a soda again, I have to ask the question why. Why in the world would you do this? Hey, by the way, while you're ordering your documentary on sweet misery, please order the Bring 'em Home ribbon. It's the magnetic yellow ribbon. You know the one that says, support our troops? Well, we support them. Get them the heck out of there so they can live and not live with depleted uranium poisoning the rest of their lives. This little ribbon, I forget if it's $4 or $5, I don't remember. It is a wonderful ribbon to go in the back of your car that says, just bring 'em home. And it has the website, bring'emhome.org. You might save somebody's life there. You know, I just wanted to add, Cori Brackett is our guest today, and she is the producer of the documentary Sweet Misery, which you will never even touch a package of NutraSweet again, I guarantee you, unless you're crazy after you see this documentary. But, Cori, you probably are not invited on too many mainstream programs. I haven't seen you on Fox and Friends in the morning.
No, actually, that's what the prison in Texas said to me when that I wasn't affiliated with any major network, and so therefore they were not going to let me have access to the prisoner there that we were trying to talk to. It's a difficult situation, but the way I look at it is we're looking for the truth and for information, and we're going back to a more grassroots interaction one-on-one with people rather than the separation that has happened so much.
That's right. I mean, they can't put you on TV because that's their sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can't. They just absolutely cannot. Well, here, we don't take any sponsors. In fact, the Power Hour will not allow anybody to pay us to take a commercial. If we choose the products, such as the new Reishi coffee, it's not because they paid for the advertising time. It's because I believe in it, and I'm drinking it right now. My Gano coffee is just absolutely wonderful, and if you haven't tried it, go to mycoffeesample.net or go to the Power Mall website and just click on it and look at that. It is just excellent. It tastes like brewed coffee, and it's made from reishi mushroom. Okay, let's go to Fred in Florida. Fred, you're on the air with Cori Brackett. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Joyce and Cori, how are you?
Hi, Fred. Good. How are you?
I'm good. I couldn't help but chime in when you got on this soda pop topic. I heard the fellow say that it'll dissolve a nail. It'll also dissolve raw meat, by the way. Coke syrup, unadulterated, like soda pop syrup at a fountain.
Oh, no.
Drop meat in there, it's gone.
And it'll dissolve connective tissue in your joints.
That's
also.
Right. In fact, the state troopers here in Florida, they all carry pop in their cars because they pour it on battery terminals. If they run into a car or something that won't start and it's got bad battery because it's corroded, you pour it on battery terminals. It'll destroy that, eat away that corrosion also. But what I wanted to say was I lived in Atlanta for many years and had a buddy that was a jack-of-all-trades kind of guy up there, a construction kind of fella. And he was telling me about all this. And he said when they use phosphoric acid in jobs, or like the guy was saying, dissolve in rust or whatnot, if they just use straight phosphoric acid, like you go to a hardware store and buy, they have to use gloves. And he told me that at the Coke plant where they mix the syrup and dilute it with the carbonated water and whatnot, that where the raw syrup comes out of those spigots, they have to change those pipes every 6 months because it eats the pipes away.